At number 10, Azealia Banks. Rapper Azealia Banks is certainly no stranger to conflict. She's often in the news about some beef or odd encounter, so really it comes as no surprise to find out that she's been banned a few times. Azealia has been suspended or banned from Twitter a few times. Each time, eventually, she does get her account back, only to berate people all over again. She's had beefs with other singers like Zayn Malik, whom she read to filth a few years back, but her most recent scandals online that have resulted in her getting banned have to do with her tweets about the trans community, as well as the prescription drug PrEP. In 2019, Azealia was banned from Twitter for some time after she went on a Twitter rant about PrEP. This anti-HIV drug was the subject of the rapper's rant, where she told people not to take it, saying that it doesn't work, and even condemned singer Frank Ocean for promoting it. Fast forward to 2020, and Azalea's account was once again suspended due to her transphobic tweets about gender confirmation surgeries. No matter what, Azealia will always be back to offend someone new, so there's really no stopping her, unfortunately. At number 9, Stuart Rar. I don't know about you guys, but I can't really see myself having a meltdown in a restaurant because of meaningless things like a table being ready. There are bigger things to worry about, but apparently not to Stuart Rar. I mean, he's a billionaire, so he probably pays someone to care about things for him. In 2012, Stuart here had a meltdown in a high-end restaurant because his table wasn't ready. I mean, there were plenty of other tables to sit at, but this was his table, and these peons were sitting in it. He was so desperate to get his table back that he even tried bribing the people sitting there with paying for their meal, which could have cost upwards of $1,000, but they still said no. He had a Karen moment and then was asked to leave. He then sent an all-caps email to one of the restaurant's owners, which included some pretty harsh language, and because of this behavior, he was subsequently banned for life. Stu was not ever gonna get that spot back. Before I carry on with this list, please consider leaving a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, because it really does help the channel out. At number 8, Miley Cyrus. Now, a while back I did a video on celebrities who have been banned from countries. It still baffles me that entire countries have banned some celebs. Like, how does that happen? Well, I have an answer to that. Well, at least where Miley Cyrus is concerned. Remember Miley's Bangers era with the twerking and the tongue sticking out thing? Yeah. That got her banned from the Dominican Republic. The country banned her from performing in the country on morality grounds, saying that she, quote, undertakes acts that go against morals and customs, which are punishable by Dominican law, end quote. As a result, she wasn't allowed to perform in the country, as it was one of the stops on her Bangers World Tour. If you've seen clips of the tour, then you would kind of understand why the Dominican Republic tried to pass on Miley. The singer included imagery of the mean green, if you know what I mean, and other sexual imagery in her tour, and you know, that kind of stuff just isn't for everyone.
And at number 7, Azealia Banks. Azealia Banks has been somewhat of a cyberbully online for years, so it's not a shock that she ended up getting banned because of it. She had come after a number of celebrities over the years, but when she attacked Zayn Malik using racist and homophobic slurs, she was kicked off the platform. This all took place in 2016, and insiders from Twitter state she almost got banned after some controversial comments about Sarah Palin. However, this was the final straw. After the ban, she tried to get back on using a different account, but that was also suspended.
At number 6, Vince Neil. You know when someone catches you doing something wrong, and before they have the chance to report you, you put the blame on them? It's a strategy used in the game Among Us, and also apparently by Motley Crue frontman Vince Neil. In 2012, Vince found himself in some trouble after being caught in his shenanigans while staying at the Palms Hotel in Las Vegas. Vince promptly took to Twitter, going on a rampage about how horrible the hotel was, and going on to say, quote, due to recent events, including distrust and dishonesty at the executive level, I will never again step foot on Palms property, end quote. Everyone thought that something big must have gone down at the hotel, and it was sort of true, but the one in the wrong was in fact Vince, not the hotel. Because of Vince's tweets, the hotel released a statement stating that Vince has been kicked out of the hotel because of his inappropriate behavior and for threatening to give the hotel bad publicity. Vince was caught with his hand in the cookie jar, so to speak, and instead of owning up, he pulled a stunt that made him look even worse, and then got blacklisted from the property.
Halfway through our list, number 5, we have Charlie Sheen. It is not totally surprising to see the actor on this list. It is no secret that the highest paid TV actor lost everything when he couldn't kick his alcohol and substance addiction and lost his acting career to it. So it's not a huge surprise to learn that he was banned from the New York City's Plaza Hotel, but what is surprising is what he did. Law enforcement reported that he was in his underwear trashing the hotel room with his ex-wife and children across the hall from him. They also said he at one one point removed his underwear and went on a nude rampage, throwing things and going on an explicit rant. They found a woman hiding in his bathroom at the time and they had him get dressed before making him leave the hotel immediately. The damages to his room were so serious that he was charged $20,000 worth of fines and he was banned from the hotel for life.
At number 4, Led Zeppelin. If there's anything I've learned from researching these lists, is that rockers and hotels just don't mix. I mean, just wait for number 1. That one is wild. But for now, let's talk about Led Zeppelin and why they were banned from a few American hotels. In the 70s, the rockers caused quite a bit of trouble in a number of hotels, from riding motorcycles in the lobby to using fish inappropriately. Yes, I said fish. These guys were wild and the hotels were not happy. They've been banned from the Chateau Marmont, the Hyatt on Sunset Boulevard, the Edgewater Hotel in Seattle, and probably a number of others. Part of me would have loved to see the shenanigans up close, but maybe not the fish incident. I don't know what happened there and I don't think I really want to.
And at number 3, Adele. This is probably the funniest case of banning because Adele decided to actually ban herself from Twitter. And in this day and age of cancel culture, she definitely made the right decision. And it seems that her thinking was along these lines, and when asked about the decision, she said she felt she was getting too close to tweeting something inappropriate. And taking herself off the platform was the best way to avoid getting in trouble while she's drunk. Now, instead of being off the platform, her Twitter account is run by her team, who tweet and post for her.
At number 2, Russell Crowe. I don't know who needs to hear this, but here's your reminder to not throw things at people when you're angry. It's unnecessary and just escalates the situation even more, and Russell Crowe is a good example of where those kinds of actions get you. Back in 2005, Russell Crowe got mad. There were a number of reasons why he was mad, but he was just really in a horrible mood. Apparently, Russell was trying to call his wife in Australia while he was at a hotel in New York. He went down to the front desk to complain about how his suite's phone wasn't working, and for some reason he brought the phone with him. Like, why did you have to unplug the phone just to make your point? Anyway, the concierge was just trying to help Russell with his problem, but he just got angrier and ended up throwing the phone at the concierge's face. Russell ended up cutting the concierge just under his eye when he threw the phone, and later when the police were called, he was charged with and a criminal possession of a weapon. The weapon in this case being the phone. On top of that, the actor was banned from that hotel because no one wants another phone incident. And finally, at number 1, The Who. Now, I just had to put this one at number 1 because of how outrageous this is. The band The Who, and more specifically the band's drummer Keith Moon, well, they had a wild side. They had a reputation for messing with hotels, and Keith was usually the one behind the shenanigans. In August 1967, the band planned an after party at the Holiday Inn to celebrate Keith's 21st birthday. Well, things certainly got wild and a number of rules were broken, property was damaged, and the police were called. By the end of this wild night, they had blown up a toilet, gotten hurt while running from the police, and apparently they drove a car into the hotel swimming pool. The open bar and cake that was supplied for the birthday bash certainly fueled the tomfoolery. After all was said and done, the band was banned from all Holiday Inn locations and was banned from Flint, Michigan, where this all went down.
Starting us off at number 10 is Miley Cyrus. Love her, but I don't think any of us are totally surprised to see her on this list. She's been in the headlines many times over the years for her controversial antics, but some of them ended with her getting banned from some places. Back in 2009, she was banned from China after she shared a photo where she mocked the Asian community. She posted a photo with an Asian man and some of her friends, and in the picture, she was slanting her eyes with her hands, making fun of the Asian man next to her. Apparently, it was all meant to be fun and games, but China did not find it so funny, and they slapped a ban on her and have no plans to remove it. They commented on the situation and said, "We have no interest in further polluting our children's minds with their American ignorance." Miley has since apologized for the photo, and she said she learned a very valuable lesson from it. Moving on to number 9, we have Lil Wayne. You have to do some serious damage to get banned from attending all NBA games and events, but somehow the rapper managed to do just that. It was back in 2013 when he told his fans that the NBA has prohibited him from attending events after a tiff with the Miami Heat, where he was kicked out during the game. During a Houston concert, he announced the news to his fans and said, "It's because the Miami Heat told them to ban me." He later went on Twitter and went off on a rant and added more fuel to the fire by saying he slept with Chris Bosh's wife. However, an NBA representative denied the claims and said they have no knowledge of this alleged ban, and he has been seen at games since then. So fans are thinking maybe the ban was temporary, or maybe it was just a threat, but it never actually happened. We're not totally sure. Swiping our number 8 spot is Madonna. You might think that someone like Madonna could go anywhere in the world without it being an issue, but apparently there is one place she's not allowed to go. Apparently she got banned from the Alamo Drafthouse theater chains after having rude movie etiquette. The story goes that she got thrown out of a screening of 12 Years a Slave. Reports say that she kept texting on her BlackBerry at the time, and when she was asked to refrain from using her phone during the film, she got rude towards another audience member and started lashing out. They asked her to leave the cinema and never return, and I guess they take texting very seriously.
At number 7, Alec Baldwin. Here's another celeb that's actually been banned from an entire country, and this case is one that is a reminder to think before you speak, because even some jokes can land you on someone's naughty list. Alec Baldwin is known for making some jokes here and there, though he should probably stick to acting if this is where his jokes lead him. In 2009, Letterman asked a then single Baldwin about marriage, to which he joked about getting a quote Filipino mail-in bride. This joke eventually got to the Philippines, and once people over there heard it, they issued a ban preventing him from entering the country. Things eventually settled, and the country isn't mad at Alec anymore, so maybe this helped him learn a valuable lesson about respect. Probably didn't, but one can hope.
Cruising into number 6, we have Blake Lively. So this one actually happened before she was a celebrity, but it's just too funny and relatable not to bring up. When the actress was a teenager, she said that she tried to sneak into Disneyland for free and she got caught. We all know that as a teenager, we don't really have our own money at the time, so I guess she thought that she could just cheat the system, kind of like I used to do in the movie theaters. Don't even tell me you never snuck into a movie theater for free. I did, or I'd buy a ticket, and then when that movie was done, I'd run into another theater and catch the ending of another movie. Not proud, sorry mom. She managed to get into the park, but then got caught and was kicked out and banned. The ban was only 1 year long. They actually wouldn't allow her into the park until the following season. So after her year was up, the happiest place in the world was willing to forgive her, even more so now that she is a celebrity. She definitely gets in for free now, let's be honest. So that all worked out for her in the end. She gets in for free. Her kids will never have to sneak in for free.
Halfway number 5, Clint Eastwood. After Trump won the 2016 election, Clint Eastwood was incredibly happy about it and tweeted out his delight about the win. But many were scratching their heads when his account was later suspended. Some felt the platform was limiting his free speech or even showing a liberal bias. But there was actually more to the story, and it was revealed that he wasn't suspended because of his support for Trump, but because the account wasn't actually Clint Eastwood's. I guess it was just an imposter that was pretending to be him. However, if the account wasn't verified, which I'm kind of assuming it wasn't, I don't know why anyone would really think it's actually Clint Eastwood. I mean, come on now, but okay.
In spot number 4 is Ariana Grande. You might remember the video that went viral, which showed Ariana licking a donut in a donut shop and saying how much she hates America. But if you haven't, let me explain. She was with her ex at the time, and apparently they were playing Truth or Dare, and she was dared to lick one of the donuts on display, and the whole thing was caught on their surveillance camera. She was at a Wolfie Donuts in California, and after the video footage went viral, she was busted for both licking donuts and not paying for them, and also voicing hatred against her country. While some people were forgiving for her being entitled to have her own opinion about America, no one wanted her spit on their donut and thought it was very disrespectful to the bakery owners. Wolfie Donuts first announced that they would be pressing charges against her and banned her from never returning. In 2015, it was revealed that the owner did press charges against her, but because the owner's losses were only $4 for 2 donuts that she licked, the charges did not go very far.
At number 3, Amanda Bynes. Amanda Bynes had a hard time back in 2014. She had a highly publicized fall from grace and was heavily criticized. Every move she made was covered in the tabloids, including one incident at a store that ended in her getting banned. While shopping at the high-end store Barney's, Amanda was caught by security trying to walk out of the store wearing a $200 hat. without having paid for it. This wasn't the first time Amanda has gotten into trouble like this, since, as I've mentioned before, she was having a tough time in her life around this time. Before this, she was caught driving under the influence and was even detained by police after security caught her smoking an illicit substance in the lobby of her Times Square apartment. This hat incident just added to the troubles that she was facing, and as a result of her theft, she was asked to sign a document banning her from ever entering the premises again, in return for not pressing charges. So I guess she lucked out on that.
Taking over our number 2 spot is Paris Hilton. She's had some troubling times in the public eye, and one of them led to her getting banned from a Las Vegas hotel back in 2010. But this hotel ban actually led to an even bigger ban that she was unaware of at the time. She was banned from the Wynn Hotel in Vegas after they found substances in her purse. These substances charges led to her being banned from Japan, but she didn't find out about it until she'd already traveled halfway around the world to get there. She was left embarrassed after traveling there for a promotional tour just to find out that she was banned from the country because of her substance conviction. The Japanese immigration officials in Tokyo refused to bend the rules and asked her to leave. Paris pleaded guilty to her charges, and apparently the Japanese law states that they can deny entry to anyone convicted of substance-related offenses. I honestly had no idea, and the pictures of her in the airport are so embarrassing. I feel so bad, but not really. In our number 1 place is Mia Khalifa. In recent times, she's been extremely open on social media with her followers about her past in the adult entertainment industry, which ultimately led her to being banned from Lebanon, which is her home country. She has talked about her ban and the tumultuous relationship she has had with her country. She has a tattoo of the Lebanese national anthem, but it was not received positively because of her career choices that she's made in the past. She explained her parents are estranged due to her choices to be in that industry, and she has been blocked online by the president of her own home country, which is wild. Despite being banned, she does continue to show her love and support online, donating thousands of dollars to the Red Cross and auctioning off some of her items to raise money to help them.
And at number 10, we got Donald Trump. The former president has been banned from the majority of social media platforms. The domino effect of bans started when he was banned from Twitter following the January 7th insurrection that took place at the Washington, D.C. Capitol. Immediately after the riots, he was banned off of Twitter and Facebook. Twitter's ban was permanent, while Facebook's was temporary pending an investigation, although Facebook ended up extending the ban further. After these two major companies banned Trump, he was also banned from Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and even Pinterest. Trump has tried suing the platforms to get his profiles back, and he is currently in litigation with all the major platforms, so I guess we'll see what happens. And at number 9, Rihanna. So it seems that even Rihanna is not above the rules, and the singer was temporarily banned off Instagram after she posted a photo to the platform that violated their terms of service. The photo in question showed a lot of her backside, if you catch my drift. The account was quickly reactivated, however said photo was removed from her profile. Rihanna is not the last celebrity who was temporarily banned from the platform for a little misstep, and she has been vocal against their restrictions. And at number 8, Courtney Love. Singer Courtney Love was suspended off Twitter in 2011 after she made some defamatory comments about fashion designer Dawn Simorangkir. Apparently back in 2009, Love took to just about every social media platform, especially Twitter, to rant about Simorangkir, who was reportedly, quote, demanding payment for a few $1,000s worth of clothes. But things turned nasty fast, and she at one point accused the designer of being a sex worker. Simorangkir ultimately took the singer to court, and Love's feed was temporarily suspended ahead of trial in early 2011. According to Time, the singer settled the case for nearly $450,000. And this was actually not the last time one of her tweets got her in a lawsuit either.
In spot number 7, we have Lindsay Lohan. We have heard of people getting kicked out of hotels for trashing the rooms, but it's another thing to be kicked out for not paying your bill. For Lindsay, it was a massive amount of unpaid bills that maybe she thought she would get away with because of her celebrity status. She currently lives overseas, but if she did return to the US full time, she would not be allowed to stay at the Chateau Marmont in West Hollywood. She was banned from the hotel after owing over $46,000 that she left unpaid at the time. However, since the incident happened, she has settled the dispute against her, but they are still not willing to take a risk with her, and she is not welcome to stay there.
And at number 6, Rose McGowan. Rose McGowan has been a very vocal figure in the Me Too movement, and she was the first celebrity to call out Harvey Weinstein by name. She was first banned by Twitter in 2016 when she tweeted about an anonymous studio head whose nasty behavior was quote an open secret in Hollywood / the media. This tweet caught the attention of Ronan Farrow, who later published a New York Times report on it. Years later, when the report was published and hundreds of other women came forward, actor Ben Affleck decided to tweet out in disgust of Weinstein, which a lot of people were doing at the time. But this sent McGowan into a long rant, alleging that Affleck had known about Weinstein's bad behavior for years. She ended up tweeting for Affleck to F off, but was not suspended until she posted someone's phone number on the platform. She got her account back once it was deleted.
At number 5, Kourtney and Khloe Kardashian. When the Kardashians were riding their rise to fame, their reality show Keeping Up was gaining popularity, and the network decided to try and make a spin-off show that focused on Kourtney and Khloe Kardashian. Since Keeping Up centered mostly around Kim, they wanted to give the other Kardashian sisters some time in the spotlight, but that didn't really end up going so well. The show was supposed to follow the sisters in the Hamptons, but the Hamptons weren't really down with that idea. The classy Long Island town didn't want anything to do with the Kardashians or their cameras because it was disturbing the peace, so to speak. This area is frequented by some classy folk in the summertime, and so the last thing they wanted was a camera crew and some loud LA folk wandering around the area. When Kourtney and Khloe rolled up, the townspeople started yelling at them to go home, and some places even refused to serve them because they were unwelcome in the area. Restaurants and other places banned the Kardashians, so eventually the show had nowhere to go. The Hamptons started hating the Kardashians before it was even cool, so maybe it's kind of a chill place to go. If you're not a celebrity, that is.
And at number 4, Chelsea Handler. This case of suspension was very similar to Rihanna's, and Handler got in trouble on Instagram after she posted a racy photo that violated their terms of service. This took place in 2014 when she posted a topless photo of herself riding a horse. The image apparently broke Instagram's rules about nudity, which doesn't allow women to show their nipples. However, men are allowed to. This decision has drawn a lot of criticism from influencers and celebrities alike, who pointed out the blatant double standard of the policy. Even though Handler was vocal against the decision, the photo was eventually deleted.
Taking over our number 3 spot is Nicki Minaj. The rapper was banned from a hotel, but it wasn't her fault. It was back in 2011 that she was kicked out of London's Dorchester Hotel after an ambulance had to be called because a fight broke out between her fans. When she arrived at the hotel, she was swarmed by fans who refused to leave and would not listen to the security's orders. Some of them started spraying graffiti in the elevator, and a fight broke out between some of them, causing injuries to a person. They ended up asking her to leave the hotel that night and not return. She tweeted about the situation and said that things did get a bit crazy, but that she appreciated her fans' support. She followed her tweets by saying, "Hopefully the next hotel will be nicer." I'm curious, do you guys think the hotel was in the wrong to kick her out, or do they have the right to kick her out because her fans are wilding out? I mean, if there's damage being done, I don't know, she didn't cause it, but like she does cause it because she's Nicki. I don't know, tricky situation.
And at number 2, PewDiePie. PewDiePie is YouTube's biggest star, but he also has a lot of controversy under his belt. One of these is his Twitter suspension. Back in 2016, the YouTuber had his Twitter temporarily suspended, and his verification was even stripped because he made a joke about joining ISIS with another YouTuber. But that wasn't the first of his controversies. He also got massive backlash after he posted a video to his channel that showed a sign with an anti-Semitic message. This video was not only taken down by the platform, but the incident got his YouTube Red series cancelled. He was also dropped from the partner program. After all the fallout from the incident, PewDiePie decided to post less on YouTube and started streaming on sites like Twitch. And finally, number 1, Kanye West. With all the insane rants Kanye posts on Twitter, it's no wonder that he's been suspended on the platform. But instead of being suspended for the things that he has said, Kanye actually got suspended in 2020 after he tweeted out the personal phone number of the Forbes editor at the time. This is obviously doxing and is against Twitter's terms. The ban for this offense lasted less than 12 hours, and he hopped right back on after. Around the time he released the phone number, he also posted photos of his recording contract on Twitter so that his fans could see the arrangement. This was around the time he was fighting for his own masters, and he felt he was going to get killed for speaking out against big names in the industry. And at number 10, Donald Trump. Donald Trump attended the Met Gala numerous times with his wife Melania in the past, because New York socialites and even political figures are often invited to the Met. However, after he became president and enacted very controversial laws, he was banned from from ever attending again. Many rumored he might be banned after many controversial statements, but this is one of the few people that Anna Wintour herself actually confirmed will not be invited back. And if you didn't already know, Wintour has been the editor-in-chief of Vogue since 1988, and she handpicks every person who is invited to the Met Ball. When Anna was asked during a segment of James Corden's Fill Your Guts or Spill Your Guts who she would never invite back to the Met again, she swiftly replied, Donald Trump. And at number 9, Kim Kardashian. These days it's hard to imagine a Met Gala without Kim Kardashian. When Kim was just known as a reality star back in the day, Anna revealed that she would not be inviting her to the Met. Apparently in 2012, Anna was adamant about not inviting Kim to keep the prestige of the event. A source even told Page 6 that, quote, Anna hates Kim. However, that all changed in 2013 when Kanye brought a pregnant Kim Kardashian to the Met Gala as his guest, which is something that Anna could not refuse. Since then, Kim has become a staple in high fashion and elevated her brand to be one of the most influential people in the world. And these days, the fashion world cannot ignore the Kardashian influence, and multiple Kardashian sisters are invited to the Met each year. And at number 8, Tim Gunn. Tim Gunn is incredibly well known in the fashion world and is somewhat of a staple on fashion television, as he starred in shows like Making the Cut and Project Runway. But even though he is fashion royalty, he said the wrong thing about Anna Wintour and has paid the price with his invite being permanently revoked. In 2006, Gunn was asked to recall the most unforgettable thing he's seen in fashion by the New York Post, and he answered, quote, watching Anna Wintour being carried down 5 flights of stairs by 2 bodyguards from a fashion show. Anna didn't like these comments, so Vogue asked for a retraction, but he refused, and his invite was taken as a result. He's claimed that he's been in a war with Anna and her team ever since.
At number 7, Bobcat Goldthwait. I think that this goes without saying, but don't go setting fire to random things. I know Adele said set fire to the rain, but that was just a metaphor. Clearly though, one guest on Jay Leno didn't quite get the memo because they ended up setting a fire during their interview on the Late Night Show. Back in 1994, actor Bobcat Goldthwait was a guest on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, and during his guest appearance, the actor decided to randomly set fire to his chair. At the time, Jay thought that this was just a spontaneous bit, but in reality, Bobcat came prepared for this as he brought lighter fluid and a lighter that was hidden up his sleeve. Luckily, the other guest who was there that night, Lauren Hutton, was quick on her feet and doused the flames with a cup of water. Jay, understandably, was very unhappy with all this and banned Bobcat from the show. Not only that, but the actor was also charged with arson for his stunt and was ordered to pay over $3,300 in fines, some of which went towards replacing the chair that he set fire to. Not too sure why he decided to make this interview go up in flames like that, but at least he won't be able to pull that stunt again. At least not with Jay.
And at number 6, Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj went viral on the night of the Met because she tweeted that she didn't attend the event because of the vaccine requirement. She tweeted during the event, quote, they want you to get vaccinated for the Met. If I get vaccinated, it won't be for the Met. It'll be once I feel that I've done enough research. I'm working on that now. In the meantime, my loves, be safe, wear the mask with 2 strings that grips your head and face, not that loose one. She added in a follow-up tweet that her cousin in Trinidad won't get it because his friend got the vaccine and became impotent after, finishing, quote, so just pray on it and make sure you're comfortable with your decision, not bullied. And I can assume that after calling out the event for their mandate, she will not be asked back. Halfway at number 5, Mariah Carey. One thing that everyone knows about Mariah Carey is that she's not gonna do what she doesn't want to do. And if she feels that something is uncomfortable or awkward, you're gonna know it. So when Mariah signed up to be on one of the first ever episodes of Carpool Karaoke, it was a little awkward. From the beginning of the segment, Mariah Carey seems unhappy and a little annoyed, like she doesn't want to be there. It also didn't seem like she knew her songs were the ones that were going to be played, and she wasn't sure exactly what she should be doing. And even though it was a bit cringy at times, we do have to remember this was one of the first episodes, so both parties were still working out the kinks. And at number 4, Tina Fey. Tina Fey is hilarious, and she's well known for poking fun at her own celebrity and not taking herself too seriously, which aren't things that go well at the Met. After she attended the Met, she shared her experience with David Letterman in 2015. When asked if she had gone, she responded that she had, and that it was, quote, such a jerk parade, adding, quote, every jerk from every walk of life is there, wearing like some stupid thing. I dragged my husband along with me, which I'm still in trouble for. But she didn't stop there. She added later, quote, if you had a million arms, all the people you'd want to punch are there. And it seems that after those comments, she knew she would not be invited back, and she added, quote, clearly I'll never go again.
At number 3, Howard Stern. But speaking Speaking of Howard Stern, he himself has been banned from a late night show. Apparently, he and Jay Leno have had beef ever since Howard's 1995 appearance on The Tonight Show. This appearance was pretty chaotic. Howard entered onto the show with two women in bikinis and prompted the women to start kissing each other on air. On top of that, Howard kept speaking over Jay and other guests while on the show as well. Jay was apparently so fed up with Howard and his antics that he nearly walked off set and was so mad about the way that the show turned out that evening that he later called into Howard's show to say that he had, quote, gone beyond the acceptable standards. After that, Howard was banned and he and Jay have had beef ever since.
And at number 2, Amy Schumer. Amy Schumer is another celebrity that's made a name for herself by making fun of everything. But of course, making fun of the Met is gonna have some consequences. In 2016, Amy Schumer was asked about the event while on the Howard Stern show, and she said, quote, "It's people doing an impression of having a conversation. I don't like the farce. We're all dressed up like a bunch of effing a-holes." Adding, quote, "I have no interest in fashion, I don't care. I left earlier than I should have been allowed. I got to meet Beyonce, and she was like, is this your first Met Gala? And I was like, it's my last." So again, Amy was self-aware that she either would not be invited back, or she knew she just wouldn't attend again even if she was invited. And finally, number 1, Demi Lovato. Demi has only been to the Met Gala once, and it seems that one time might be their last, either because they won't be invited back, or Demi just won't want to go. Demi spoke about their time at the gala with Billboard and said it was a horrible experience, saying, quote, "I had a terrible experience. This one celebrity was a complete bitch and was miserable to be around. It was very cliquey. I remember being so uncomfortable that I wanted to drink." This was very shocking because this was around the time that Demi was trying to get sober, and apparently the Met set her back off course. Demi added that they went straight to an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting after the Met, saying, quote, "I changed my clothes, but I still had my diamonds on. Millions of dollars of diamonds on an AA meeting." There was also a big scandal involving Nicki Minaj that followed the event. Nicki didn't tag Demi in a photo of them after the ball, to which Demi called her out for. This started another war, making the night even more awful for Demi than it was before. And at number 10, Rick Ross. James Corden is well known for his Fill Your Guts or Spill Your Guts segment, where he and his celebrity guest expose secrets about themselves, or they have to eat something nasty. While Corden was playing this game with Demi Moore in 2019, she asked him to name a celebrity that had disappointed him, to which Corden replied, Rick Ross. Apparently before Ross came on, Corden had the idea to do a musical spoof around his song Hustlin', asking if Ross would be open to singing it for the bit. Corden continued that they got all the approvals and everything was running smoothly leading up to the show, but when the day of the show arrived and they did a practice run of the bit, Ross apparently pulled his people aside and told him that he would not be doing that. Obviously that put a huge wrench into things, but Corden did admit the bit sounded pretty dumb. And at number 9, Britney Spears. Britney Spears is an icon, so you'd think her carpool karaoke segment would go off without a hitch, but when the episode came out, fans weren't too impressed and Britney did not get rave reviews. Britney later came out and revealed the show did not go well because she felt very uncomfortable the whole time. She said, quote, "It was a little awkward, like driving by grocery stores, people walk by and there are like 18 cameras around us, so it's just awkward." Apparently he also replayed some of her songs while taping, and she didn't like that and told him to change it. When asked which songs Corden repeatedly played, Britney mentioned Baby One More Time and Oops I Did It Again. She even said, "He put a damn wig on for it." After a review like that, I'm sure there will not be another episode with Britney. And at number 8, Pierce Brosnan. Corden exposed a celebrity in yet another segment of Fill Your Guts or Spill Your Guts. While he had Khloe Kardashian on the show in 2017, Khloe asked Corden to name a celebrity that had been rude to him in the past. After a lot of debating, Corden admitted that it was Pierce Brosnan. Corden continued that he doesn't think Brosnan is a rude person, it was just a bad encounter. Corden described that he was at a U2 concert with his wife and some friends, and when a spot opened up in front of them during the concert, the group decided to snag the closer spot. Then Corden says, quote, "So me and my wife moved into this area, and literally I've never felt anything like it. This arm went on mine and just pushed me out of the way. And I looked at him and he didn't even glance at me. He just moved back into his area, just like that." Not only will Brosnan not be doing karaoke, he most likely won't be showing up again in general. And at number 7, Khloe Kardashian. Most of the Kardashians get invited to the Met every year, with Kim, Kendall, and Kylie being staples at the event. Even Kris Jenner gets invited most of the time. However, neither Kourtney or Khloe have ever attended a Met ball. Apparently that's because Khloe is banned, and Kourtney has never been relevant enough to grace the very A-list event. But it was rumored that Kourtney and her boyfriend Travis Barker were actually invited to the esteemed event this year, which would have been Kourtney's Kourtney's first met, but Kourtney decided not to go for the sake of Khloe. A source said, quote, Khloe and Kourtney have never been invited to the Met Gala, but Kourtney was invited to this one and chose to stay home with Khloe because she didn't want to leave her alone. Another part of this is that the Met is known to be Kim's event, and she prefers that her sisters do not go so she can shine solo. If you're wondering why Khloe gets the cold shoulder, apparently she's too C-list for the event. And at number 6, Katy Perry. Katy Perry's episode of Carpool Karaoke was another that was not received well by fans. This time it was due to Perry's bad attitude. The first slightly annoying thing is that she kept correcting James when he would get the smallest word wrong while singing one of her songs. Katy then spent a portion of the episode dishing out details of her beef with Taylor Swift, and although people loved that she was finally addressing the drama, many didn't like that the negative energy surrounding their drama was brought into the lighthearted skit.
At number 5, Jay Leno. This next ban was caused by one serious feud between Jay Leno and Conan O'Brien. Because both men were talented late night hosts, there were a lot of pitches from different networks trying to poach one or the other to take over talk shows and whatnot. Well, things got kind of heated when Conan was promised the hosting gig for The Tonight Show when Jay's contract was up. As you would imagine, Jay didn't take the news very well, and so he decided to start his own show, The Jay Leno Show, which aired before Conan's. Well, when neither of their shows were bringing in good ratings, the network reshuffled the time slots, gave Conan's slot to Jay, and bumped Conan's show back half an hour. Conan didn't like that, took a payout, and The Tonight Show fell back into Jay's hands. Later on, when asked if he would have Jay on an episode of his show, Conan shut that down, essentially saying that Jay would have been banned from his program. There was just a lot of bitterness between them, and the water under that bridge has certainly dried up.
And at number 4, Selena Gomez. This is one of the Carpool Karaokes that was roasted online afterwards. The segment was hilarious and featured Selena and James going down a roller coaster as well as going to McDonald's. But the singing was not on point, and people savagely roasted Selena for the way she was singing, along with the fact that she could hardly sing her own songs, specifically mocking the way that she was moving her hands while singing, and looked like she could hardly belt out the words. And at number 3, Josh Hartnett. Banned is probably a pretty strong word for the treatment of Josh Hartnett. A better term would be not relevant enough to attend. And there are tons of celebrities that are not famous enough to attend because fame is always changing based on whatever project a celebrity has been a part of. The biggest sting against Josh specifically is that he was shown in a documentary about the Met called The First Monday in May, wherein Calvin Klein's team called up Vogue to request a seat for Hartnett, and they harshly responded, quote, "What has he done lately? Nothing. You guys are all set." Based on this response, it's clear that he's not banned for life, more so temporarily banned until he gets cast in something noteworthy. And at number 2, Ellen DeGeneres. Ellen DeGeneres is known as the dancing queen of television, and she always makes a point to dance with her audience in the beginning of her show. So you'd think that having Ellen on Carpool Karaoke wouldn't be that much of a long shot because she loves to perform. But that won't be happening anytime soon because Ellen and James Corden have been feuding for years, mainly because Corden is trying to take her spot. Apparently after Ellen came under fire in 2020 and her show was potentially up for grabs, Corden was the person primed to take over the coveted spot. The chairman of NBC is apparently a huge fan of Corden's, so he's been waiting for an opportunity for Corden to join the network. Ellen decided to come back to her show for one more season, and she will be retiring at the end of this season, but there's clearly still bad blood. And finally, number 1, Eric Andre. While Ellen was going through her scandal and the public was weighing the potential options of who would replace her, Eric Andre's name was thrown into the ring. Many felt he would be a great replacement since he is so lighthearted and fun. But at that point, it looked like James Corden was the person most likely to get the gig. Eric Andre addressed these rumors and savagely revealed his true thoughts about Corden. He revealed that he didn't think Ellen should be cancelled for being mean in the first place. He then added that James Corden is if not being nice gets you cancelled, obviously insinuating that James Corden was not nice and would have a similar fate as Ellen because she was getting cancelled for being mean.
At number 10, Hugh Grant. You don't really hear too much about Hugh Grant these days, so when I found out that he was banned from somewhere, I was actually pretty shocked. He was banned from The Daily Show after having a really bad interview that affected the show's host. Jon Stewart, the former host of The Daily Show, said in an interview that Hugh Grant was the absolute worst guest he'd ever had on the show. He spoke about how when Hugh was on to promote his film Did You Hear About the Morgans, Hugh was making a huge scene backstage and was really mean and annoying to the people who were working on set. Apparently, Hugh was allegedly going around saying that he had better places to be. He also got really upset about the clip that they played from the film, saying, quote, "What is that clip? It is a terrible clip." To which Jon replied, telling Hugh to make a better movie. You could really tell that Jon was fed up with Hugh and his attitude on the show. Jon went on to say that because of his poor experience with Hugh, he would never have him back on his show. At number 9, Kathy Griffin. Kathy Griffin is known for being pretty outspoken and controversial at times, and and it's because of her antics that she's been banned from just about every talk show. Because of her unpredictable actions, use of crude language, and her problematic past, she isn't welcome on shows like The View, The Today Show, Ellen, Regis and Kelly, Jay Leno, Letterman, and many others. She's racked up a lot of these bans over the years, but some new ones, like being fired from CNN, come from the backlash that she gained after the Donald Trump incident where she posed with a fake bloodied model of Donald Trump's head. She's been known to ruffle people's feathers on live TV and pull stunts that are inappropriate for broadcast. For example, during her time hosting the New Year's Eve special with Anderson Cooper on CNN, she used profanity and even removed some of her clothing on TV. On top of that, she's offended people during award shows while making speeches and making inappropriate comments. Though she's been banned from certain TV shows, I really think that people just want her banned from the media in general because of her actions. Now, before I carry on talking about more celebrities banned from late night programs, I would first like to take a moment to ask you guys to consider leaving a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, because it really helps the channel out and we appreciate you guys supporting our platform. At number 8, Harmony Korine. I think it's common knowledge, at least to most people, that when you're a guest somewhere, you should try and be on your best behavior. Most people follow this unspoken rule, but many others don't, especially celebrities, as we will see throughout this list. One person who really should have tried to behave themselves is director Harmony Korine, who's best known for the movie Spring Breakers. There was once a time when Harmony made a number of appearances on The Late Show with David Letterman in the mid to late 90s. This was also during a time when Harmony was reportedly on a lot of drugs. Though he was a frequent guest on the show, his appearances just stopped all of a sudden and no one really knew why until 2013 when Letterman revealed the truth as to why the director was banned from coming on the show. Apparently, Letterman caught the director going through Meryl Streep's purse one time, and that was just the last straw for the late night host. When talking about this fateful event, Letterman said, quote, "I went upstairs to greet Meryl Streep and welcome her to the show. I knocked on the door and she wasn't there. I looked around and found Harmony going through her purse. True story. And so I said, that's it, put her things back in her bag and then get out." End quote. After that, Harmony was no longer welcome on the show and has not been back since.
And at number 7, One Direction. After the group did a carpool karaoke segment, it was widely regarded as a train wreck. One of the main criticisms with this episode is that there was too much singing and not enough talking or joking around, which is what the fans really want to see. The episode got more backlash weeks later when the show posted a clip of the group going to McDonald's during their karaoke segment. After this, One Direction fans were dying to see the full footage, but instead of that, the teaser clip was deleted. After this mistake, the Directioners came for the show and accused the show of duping the fans. One tweet read, quote, "James Corden is once again proof all men do is lie." After all that, I think Corden would rather not deal with their crazy fan base again.
At number 6, Dax Shepard. Actor and comedian Dax Shepard has been very open about his struggles with substance abuse for some time now. He's opened up about some of the lowest points in his career that was caused by his substance abuse, including one time that got him banned from a late night show. Dax told a story about how he was once preparing to be on Late Night with Conan O'Brien in 2004, but when he was doing the pre-interview, he blacked out. Dax didn't remember any of the pre-interview where he was supposed to go over the talking points for the evening, and by the time his real interview started, he was so lost. He went into detail saying, quote, "I show up on the show and I don't know what he's talking about. I can tell he's queuing me up for stories I've told, but I don't know any of the stories." End quote. Because of how badly he messed up his interview, he was banned from the show for a few years until he got sober. Years later, he was welcomed back on the show and all was forgiven, but it was still a low point for the actor.
Halfway at number 5, Coco Rocha. Coco Rocha is one of the most well-known models ever, so it's strange that she never attends the Met anymore. But apparently Katy Perry is the reason that she's been blacklisted. In 2017, Katy Perry was one of the co-chairs of the event, which means she has an elevated role in the event and even has a hand in the guest list. The feud between these ladies actually happened years before in 2013 at the MTV VMAs when Katy wore the exact same Emmanuel Ungaro dress that Coco had worn to that year's Met Gala a few months before. After Perry wore the dress, Coco joked about it in an interview in a way that Perry found offensive, so they've been on bad terms ever since. When asked about why she wouldn't be attending the Met Gala back in 2017, Coco Rocha told the Post, quote, "I don't know, you'll have to ask Anna Wintour that."
At number 4, Gary Busey. A lot of people enjoy their personal space. I know that there are many people who love getting close to others and who are very physical people, but you know, not everybody likes that. Getting upset when someone invades your personal space without permission is pretty understandable, and this notion is what got Gary Busey banned from the Howard Stern show. Back in 2001, actor Gary Busey was on the Howard Stern show and seemed to have ignored the notion of personal space, and that rubbed Howard the wrong way. While on the show, the actor picked up Howard's co-host, Robin Quivers, giving him a big bear hug, and even chased Howard around around the studio trying to wrestle him. Howard really didn't like what Gary was doing that day, and so he promptly banned him from coming back on the show. When Gary explained the motives behind his actions, he blamed it on his quote, 13 separate personalities. He continued to say that he was just really excitable that day, but that wasn't a good enough excuse to get him back onto the show until 2017, when he was invited to do an audio-only interview with Howard.
And at number 3, Liam Gallagher. Carpool karaoke is one of the most popular late night segments of all time, so you'd assume that any singer would jump at the chance to be on the show. That was not the case for the lead singer of Oasis, Liam Gallagher, and he has made a point to never be on the show. He addressed it in an interview with GQ. When asked if he would appear in the segment, Gallagher replied, quote, "No thank you very much. No effing chance, mate." He also added that, quote, "James Corden is a knobhead," clearly confirming that Corden is the issue. But since we've covered numerous times on the channel that Corden is known to be rude, really isn't much of a shocker. When Corden was asked about the comments, he replied sarcastically, quote, "I don't know how we'll even think of carrying on."
At number 2, Donald Trump. Now, to find out that Donald Trump has been banned from any kind of talk show really isn't all that surprising. So many hosts from various shows have banned the former president, but this next ban is a little juicier because it kind of involves some beef between the Donald and late night host Seth Meyers. In 2016, the late night talk show host issued a ban against Donald Trump in retaliation for Trump having revoked Seth's Washington Post credentials. Though it was an official ban, it was also done as a joke since Seth already knew that Donald would never be on a show anyway, but it was about the principle. In a joke statement to Donald, Seth said, quote, "We instituted this ban despite the fact that he's never been here or asked to be here or would never be caught dead here. I just think that it takes an amazing amount of courage on our part. So the ball is in your court, Donald. Either rescind your Washington Post ban or you're not allowed to appear on the show you have no interest in appearing on. Although maybe now that you can't have it, you're changing your mind." End quote. And finally, at number 1, Oprah Winfrey. This last ban seems to have been more so self-imposed. After making an appearance on David Letterman's show in 1989, Oprah Winfrey issued a self-imposed ban, refusing to go back on Letterman's show. After what she experienced on the show, Oprah and Letterman seem to have had some kind of feud going on, though it was more low-key than others. As for what happened to cause this self-imposed ban, well, Oprah finally opened up about the event that caused this back in 2013, saying, quote, "It was a terrible experience for me. The guy in the audience started yelling, 'Get her, Dave.' You were sort of baiting the audience and there were a bunch of drunk guys down the front. I was trying to mitigate the whole thing. It felt so uncomfortable for me. I didn't want to have that experience again." End quote. Basically, she was just really uncomfortable on the show and wanted to forget about the event, hence her minor beef with the late night host, and she just didn't want a repeat of that unpleasant experience.